The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks Podcast Network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. The listener. In case you haven't heard, because I've been basically saying it for the past few weeks, we just started a new network. Yeah, New York Wrestle Media. It's a whole virtual experience visually for all those connected in the world of wrestling, pop culture, live stream video games. Oh, it's happening. And it's not only me doing it. Yeah. Got a few cohorts who jumped in the mix. Covered subject matters as history, indie wrestling, news of the day, pop culture, and like I mentioned, video games. I know, me too. I'm excited. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Twitch, and on TikTok for New York Wrestle Media. Follow, subscribe, like, be a part of the vibe of all things connected with New York Wrestle Media.
All right, this is Anthony Cole of BCW, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
This is Daniel Garcia, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
It's Wrestling Rundown with Jay Santy.
Live from New York, it's Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Been a long week, ladies and gentlemen. I was sitting here waiting for news to pile up and realized that, woof, everything just hit at one time. This is what happens in the wrestling news market with the media. Sometimes you get a slow couple of days and then it'll drag and then poof, you just get a whole bunch of news stories. So I'm going to give you guys the lowdown that's in the rundown that we do here on Wrestling Rundown. As always, I'm your news correspondent, Norm McDonald, and yeah, I'm gonna give you Wrestling Rundown's weekend update. Kicking off the rundown, have we gotten used to the cope yet? I haven't. I am not with the cope. Listen, I get it. Adam Copeland decided that that's what he wanted to do. That's the name he wants to use, I guess, to move away from Edge or stuff. But really, the Cope? Adam Copeland was not enough for you? A Cope, Ad Cope, Adam Cope, something? Like, I mean, other than that, looks like the Cope and what's going on in AEW as of late doesn't seem to be resonating well with some of the fans, so much so that even the AEW fan base has gone to the social medias and shown and shared their disgust of what's going on with that. I've already explained it for me. I don't watch AEW for storylines anymore. I just watch it for matches. I don't really give a shit anymore. So I'm done with that. I guess it's the way that we have to cope with AEW these days, right? Right. You saw what I did there? Next up, Stunny. You remember her, right? You know, Tammy Sitch, the former valet and wrestling personality, blew up in the 90s and was basically on every guy's wall during that time period. Yeah, she's in jail for vehicular manslaughter, and it looks like she won't be getting out until 2039. Her parole was just recently denied. So, as they say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. SmackDown has been said there will be 3 hours until June. Looks as though that the fan base has so far been gravitating to the formula with SmackDown being 3 hours. And though it may be exciting to many, it seems like they're just going to use that until the beginning of summer. Plans could change depending on how the ratings look from then on. But as of now, that's what they have in order. I kind of like it because it gives more of a feeling to the roster. It opens more of a playground for them, more matches for them, knowing that SmackDown roster is smaller. So I'm glad that they will be doing it for them. But with that being said, that also says that, yeah, they're going to probably ramp up that roster if it stays to 3 hours anyway. So who knows? I like it. I'm okay with it. Congratulations to Sheamus. Sheamus signs a 5-year deal with the WWE. Looks as though he'll be staying there for the long run and possibly retire there. That's what his thoughts and comments were as of late. Also, he's right now in a good storyline program with Braun Breaker, and we're hoping, crossing our fingers, that we get a Sheamus moment in which he wins the IC title so he can complete his triple crown story. So good luck to him, and yeah, it's cool. We get Sheamus for another 5 years. Awesome. Great wrestler. Is Malachi Black done with AEW? As of late, the storyline has been said that, yeah, the Brody King, Buddy Murphy, and Julia Hart has says the voice of the House of Black has been silent. And right now, all they hear is violence. Looks like Malachi Black will be done. It's always been a touch and go thing. Some had said that his contract would have been done some time ago. He went on socials to say that's not true. I guess he was trying to push it forward to say that, to keep it, I guess, kayfabe, or just keep everybody on edge to figure out what's going to happen. But it looks like Malachi Black will be done with AEW. There is some Easter eggs being dropped that Chad Gable recently had said that he needs someone to teach him the ways of the lucha style, the dark craft of the lucha style. And there was something that tied to Malachi Black and Zelina Vega's wrestling school. So maybe, just maybe, that's going to be the return of Malachi. So, well, we shall see. Matt Riddle wins the MLW championship. I don't know why people are surprised by this. Anytime someone who leaves a big promotion like WWE, they land somewhere else and win a big title. Okay, maybe it's not a big title, but wins a company's championship. It happens. Not surprised by this. I don't know why. I saw a couple of people who were in an uproar about it, but I'm like, who gives a shit? Honestly, really? Next up, Darby Allin to go climb a mountain. Yeah, it seems as though that Darby's done with AEW for the time being because he's going to follow his ambition and dream to go climb Mount Everest. Remember last year he was supposed to do the same thing, but due to injury, he had to postpone it and was unable to do said feat. But yeah, he wants to do this now. Right now, in the middle of a great, well, not so great, greatly terrible storyline with the Death Riders, which he's needed. Most likely it's going to be that he comes back and he wins their title. Yeah, but yeah, Darby's going to climb a mountain. Woohoo! Penta debuted 2 weeks ago on Raw and had a resounding praise from people in the industry but of course the fan base. I thought it went well. It looks like he had a spot or two that could have been, botchy here and there, but he was in the ring with a pro. He was in there with Chad Gable, and also the nerves, the excitement, his family being there and such that could have caused it as well. But even still, they gave him the mic. He spoke in English, spoke in Spanish. I thought it was a great presentation for Penta. The only thing that I hope that they do not do is drop the fucking ball. And as they do with all Latinos and luchadors, they either A, lump them up with all the Latinos, or B, let's see them flip and do this extra stuff for the next 6 weeks. And after that, push you to the side. And then you're in a WWE speed fucking tournament, whatever. Bullshit. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping does not happen. But let's see what the upswing will be with Penta. Corey Graves is back on TV, especially after his hissy fit that occurred on social media. Corey Graves was not happy with the fact that he was moved, and I hate the word demoted because it's not a demotion. You're on network TV. You're still working, and WWE and NXT are based. Oh, it's the same shit, except it's just a different fucking show. Especially now saying that NXT is going to be equated to the Raw and SmackDown brand. Okay, let's do that. But it seemed as though he was not happy with the fact of being replaced by Pat McAfee, which would be like, dude, you're going to be replaced by Pat for like a few months. And then after that, he's back to fucking college football days. You'll be fine. You should have just taken a gig. But on the flip side, shout out to our boy M2 Inc. We discussed it on Call of the Pinfall this past week. Make sure you check us out on New York WrestleMedia and on that page for that, where we discussed the fact that this actually can be a fucking angle. This actually will be a fun program for WrestleMania to fight for the chair. Who will be the Raw commentator? Get Pat McAfee back into the ring, and we get a returning Corey Graves, who they say is clear to wrestle. So wouldn't that be cool to have them wrestle for the chair? I think so. So hopefully that it is what it is. But also, if it's not, that's not how you do business, dog. Like, to be honest with you, I'm at a spot in my professional life where I'm not happy. And yes, I do wear it on my sleeve, and I do sit there and I do have gripes, and, but I'm also in that same mode to where I'm not just sitting there and just letting things flow and leaving other people out in the lurch that I'm not going to be there to support them. I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to help them when they need to. And if the opportunity comes where I can go somewhere off, bigger and better, I will. But I just don't sit there and pout and go on social media. Oh, boo, they don't like me anymore. F them. No, it doesn't work that way, dog. Put on your big boy pants and just go out there and do your thing, fam. Shit. Bob Uecker, Hall of Fame, WWE, announcer for, was it WrestleMania 3, right? Yeah. And he made some appearances from time to time there. But Bob Uecker, the voice of Milwaukee Brewers baseball, as well as actor known for not only his role on the TV series Mr. Belvedere, God, I'm old, but also for the movie franchise, Major League, passed away at the age of 90. God bless him. Beautiful long life. Funny man. Clean and also filthy. Oh, Lord. If you ever get the chance, go on YouTube, search Norm Macdonald, Bob Uecker stories. It'll probably get you to the Howard Stern show, but also Norm had his own separate things. But it's still, listeners, it's hilarious. And Bob Uecker always had like these great lines, and especially when it had to do with baseball. He was fun in many different ways. When you got to hear him in interviews, or even look and listen to his, if you get the chance to look up his sit down conversations with Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show, he always has some good anecdotes, and it was really funny, man. May the young man rest in peace. Megan Baines signs a contract with AEW. Good for her. I think that she is not only a force on the indie scene, but she's also progressing very, very well in her gimmicks and her in-ring ability. And on AEW, she should be able to shine there. I'm looking forward to see at her possibilities of being a class act, as they would say, in the women's division there. Excuse me as I sip my ginger ale. Voice gets dry after a while. So I think it'll be a great look for her there. Hopefully she should be able to lock horns with the likes of Mercedes Moné, Willow Nightingale, Mariah May, Julia Hart, and all of them over there. She should be well off there. I believe that she's going to be a standout there. She'll be gone in 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. She'll be gone in 2 years. Sabu just announced in a recent GCW event that he will be having his last match, and it will be against Joey Janela. Who said what? Out of all people, Joey Janela? We couldn't get a Rob Van Dam? Couldn't get a Tommy Dreamer? Couldn't get an old ECW original? No one. Sandman, maybe? Okay. No? Okay. Yeah, his last match will be at Joey Janela's Spring Break, which will be at WrestleMania weekend, which is good because he'll be there and be around all the fans and such. He's been out of action, I believe, for the past 4 years due to health conditions, but let's see how he will be going out, and will he be going out in style? I don't think so at all. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry was the TNA World Heavyweight title. Congratulations to him. Finally, it's been a year and somewhat coming. He defeats Nick Nemeth for the title at Genesis, and I'm glad that everybody else is glad that they're happy. I like Joe Hendry. I'm not saying that he's washed or anything like that. He's a cool dude. Good guy. But like I said, it's just you gotta ride the wave, right? Gotta ride it. By the way, we are gonna see him at Rumble, right? Gotta be happening, right? Gotta be. Congratulations to Joe, finally. Out of nowhere, we have seen reports and some news stories to say that Lince Dorado has made his return to WWE. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Lince Dorado, the Puerto Rican luchador, makes his return. You know, Puerto Ricans always got to look out for each other. They got to shout each other out. But Lince Dorado has made his return to WWE through, he was at a dark show for NXT, and has been reported that he will be a trainer at the Performance Center. Good to hear. That's nice. That's good. It also gives the thoughts and possibilities of maybe we're going to see more luchadors coming out through NXT. So he'll be there for that as well. And also be a part of the development of young stars, coming through that doorway. So congratulations to him, man. Britt Baker done with AEW. Yeah, I was going to mention with Megan Bayne that she should have a great match with Britt Baker, but wait, what? She might be done with what? Oh, looks like, yeah, Britt Baker might be done with AEW. Seems like there's been some tension going on between Britt and the crew, especially with Tony Khan. There has been discussions and talks that they are tired of her shenanigans and her locker room fodder. We recently heard there was an incident between her and MJF. There's been rumors that her prior relationship with Adam Cole may have been more dirtier than we expect, than people thought. It was all that there was some accusations of cheating. We're not here for rumors. We just want to know the facts. But yeah, it seems as though that she's done with the company as of the, I guess the postings now. There was something that they did recently. They shadily posted on social media a video of her in a match, and basically the match had her get her ass whipped. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's not a good look. It's not a good look. But, it's funny because she had been dealing with health issues, as they mentioned before. And then, like I said, with the breakup of Adam Cole, maybe there was some mental anguish that went through that as well, understandably speaking. But, the other aspect is you got to think about this. Does she really need to wrestle? I know she loves to wrestle. She wants to wrestle, but she's a dentist. She can make that bread. Like, if she wants to focus on her practice, right? She wants to focus on that practice. She'll be able to still handle that. Like, she's a dentist. Like, all right, everybody got to go to the dentist sometime in their life. She gonna always have work. So, I don't know whether or not if there's automatically going to be this, oh, she's going to go to WWE. No, she's not. You think that they really want to deal with headaches, and maybe it's the CM Punk thing. Who knows? Don't know. We don't know. But as of now, it looks like there's nothing in the cards for her. Same to be said for Ricky Starks and for Ray Phoenix. There's no nothing in the cards and booking for two wrestlers as well. Ricky Starks, who it is said may have approached Tony Khan for his release and was denied. And Ray Phoenix, who was biding his time with the injury that was tacked onto his contract, looks like he'll be out of his contract maybe around late June, mid-July. So, yeah. And who's to say that Tony Khan's not a petty person, right? At the end of the day, business is business. You got to do what you got to do. Everybody talks about, it's a family here. We will never do that to somebody. Simpson's ginger ale. Good. Next up, Josh Alexander is a free agent. I'm calling horse shit. And the reason why is because of what the main event is coming up for this rundown. But I'm calling horse shit because the way that he had his last promo for TNA, I believe that there's something fishy going on with that. I'm not quite sold on the fact that he is totally done with the company, but we shall see. Netflix subscriptions will increase in the next few months. I know everybody's like, really? Why? Because of WWE? No, because that's what Netflix chooses to do because they could fucking do it. They got you by the balls, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Especially with the whole fact that now, everybody fucking sits there and gives their fucking links and their emails and passwords to everybody. So they're going to be like, fuck it. If you're going to keep doing it, we're going to raise the prices on you jaggalopes. So that's what's happening. Listen, you have the choice. Either you pay it or you don't. You just don't watch it. But all I have to say is, honestly, with the Netflix, the Raw on Netflix so far has been running beautifully for me. I've been good. I'm having no hiccups, no buffering, nothing. I'm good. So keep it up, guys. And, might not be a fan of the increase, but what are you going to do? It's like New York City with this MTA nonsense when they talk about, oh my God, MTA is going to raise the prices again. Yeah, of course they are. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They're always in a surplus. So they don't matter. They're always in the black. They're good. Like, and they know that transit, they have them by the ball, like the city by the balls, because you got to go everywhere in the city using transit because with the cars, there's no parking. So it's fine. But at least with Netflix, you can choose to cancel. But for us, we got to use the fucking subways. All right, let me get off my podium. I'm done with that. Alexa Bliss's return has been on hold. And, I didn't know it was getting this scandalous. Seems as though that Alexa Bliss return was put on hold due in part to the fact of a contract dispute. It seemed that the cards were lined up for her to return on the Raw in San Jose, but yeah, about that. Seems as though Alexa Bliss came in contact with the higher ups and wanted a more flexible contract and some money. She hasn't been in the ring for 2 years, and you're coming back to say I'm on the contract and I want to change my contract. Listen, I ain't mad at anybody that want to get that bag. Go get your money. You're good. That's fine. But, at the same time, you haven't been in the ring for 2 years. We don't know what you're looking at. We don't know how the crowd is going to react to you. We don't know whether or not, they even give a, they care. At the same time, let's look at it like this. The climate for women's wrestling in WWE has been elevating, right? With that being said, do you now see what's on the cards, what's on the horizon for you guys? Jordan Grace is popping up. Masha Slamovich just showed her face at NXT. Stephanie Vacour and Julia are killing it over there. All the other ladies that's in there, Lash Legend, Jada Parker, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez. That crop of women is ready to freaking blow up and go to the main roster. They ready to do business there. Then the one that's on the main roster already, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, possibly returning Becky Lynch, Charlotte's returning. Alexa, honestly, do you really want to do this now? Because it might not be the right time because people might not care. Maybe if you don't honor your contract, then I guess you can go home or go with another company. I'm just saying. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out because it's very, very interesting how that occurred. When I heard it, I was like, really? That's a ballsy move. I respect a gangster for it, but yeah. Closing out our Wrestling Rundown segment for this week, the WWE and TNA's partnership. I'm gonna say kind of saw this coming. I know it's more tied to NXT more than anything, but come on. We all know what this is. This is just a portal opening for other things to happen, the mashups to occur. We're ready. We're about to see a civil war or versus going on in here. We're ready to see the crossovers happening. Cora Jade is already challenging people on TNA. We're already looking at to see about once again Joe Hendry popping up a Royal Rumble. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Nemeth showed up and not Dolph Ziggler. Nick Nemeth, the man formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, pops up in Royal Rumble. I'll be hyped for that shit. Not for nothing. That would be cool as shit. But it seems as though that they had tested the waters early on. I remember a lot of people were questioning, and maybe I questioned it myself, but not really, where they were sending the low card wrestlers to TNA early on. And I guess this was just them testing the waters to see what the reception would be like. And they found that the fan base was really into it. I must agree that I think that this is a great business dealing for wrestling. I think it's not going to be I don't believe it should be a total takeover, although there is discussions that will WWE buy TNA, which will be interesting. That could be an interesting thing, but that's a conversation for another day. We'll save that for cutting a promo. But at this time right now, I think the partnership does very much of a benefit for both parties, the NXT and TNA. The crossover appeal will get more people trying to find TNA again on Access, or just get the app, do more promotion for the app. We had Axiom compete in TNA the night before, and I think that it's a testament to what the genre, the era of wrestling is now. We're now seeing this opening, and plus, it kind of closes the door with AEW's partnership with them. Wasn't shit anyway, because they didn't do much with it. It seemed as though that AEW was the one that pretty much benefited out of all that and didn't do anything for TNA. My only problem is with this is like it kind of gets foggy at certain time frames when it comes to not time frames, but in booking, because every owner, booker, creative wants to put their person over. So how do we do the 50-50 on this? How is it that, we want to make sure that our talents look stronger or look better? So that's going to be the interesting aspect of this. Also, I do want to see that the TNA partnership helps to elevate both brands right now. I want there to be more eyes on the product now, and not just have it to be that the reason why they're doing this is just for one shot. No, I want it to be that, that we probably get an invasion angle, or we get a one-off and then let them separate and come back again and then we'll do it again. Like, it doesn't have to be a consistent synergy. It could be like, let them butt heads, give it a few months, cool down, and then bring it back again. Like that kind of thing. It sparks things up. I like that. So let's see if we could be able to do that with the wrestling landscape right now. It should be a very, very fun experience for the fans to be able to see this. It's we already know this would have never happened on the Vince. No way. Fuck no. But this is good business, and I respect it, and I'm hoping for big outcomes with this. But other than that, guys, thanks for listening to Wrestling Rundown. We got much more on the table for this week. If you guys didn't catch it on New York WrestleMania, I did a interview for Under the Ring Apron with our boy referee Angel Cruz, also known to us at Turnbuckle Tabloid as Good Dad Angel. He stops in to discuss his progression these past few years, trying to break into the business as a referee, formerly an independent wrestler. Now he wants to get in the game as a referee, and he's discussing that. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between wrestling and refereeing, and what he has to do, balancing his personal life with his professional life as well. So it's a great conversation. Shout out to the boy, our brother, for checking in. And as always, much more. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around. Much to talk about on this week's episode of Turnbuckle Tabloid, on our way to 500. So be there for that. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. Much to talk about. See you guys in a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, the answer to your prayers is here. My name is Ariella Nix, and you are listening to the Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Well, the cool thing is that we know him on Turnbuckle Tabloid as a good dad Angel, which means we knew him before the rest of the world will know him. Because I know this man is going to blow up. So, one day it's going to happen. And before anything, he's family first. But
yeah, of course.
Down the line right now, we have our boy, the referee, Angel Cruz, is stopping in. And boy, what a difference a career makes. We started off as an indie wrestler, then all of a sudden now we start to put the pinstripes on. We got the zebras on. Easy transition for you? Easy transition, or was it tough for you to move away from hitting the ropes like you usually would?
Oh man, it for me it was a easy transition. You know, I kind of stepped away from the business after doing the in-ring work. But, you know, you always have that itch. It's like, I'm going to jump back in. And then, you know, I found out maybe I could do some refereeing, you know. So the transition was definitely easy, you know, and I love it. I actually find that more soothing for me to actually, because you do a lot more as a ref. So right. I definitely have a good time doing it now.
Yeah, because people don't really understand the importance of a referee. They just believe that they just sit there, and not to give too much tales or pull back the curtain too much, but there's a lot more that goes into a referee than just, you know, being a figurehead in a match. Did you pick it up? You know, because a lot of people will go to school for it. A lot of people will take trainings for it. How did you pick up the tools or the techniques of refereeing?
I think it was, I didn't go to training school for refereeing at all. I think just me looking and being observant of what's happening in the match, history of me wrestling, how the referees actually, you know, interacted with us in the match and whatnot. It, you know, it's like a blend. So I was like, all right, cool. I could probably do this, you know, start picking away at certain things. And then, certain wrestlers will, you know, critique and say, hey, try this, you know, speaking to other referees as well. The ones that have the experience, they definitely, hey, try this. So it's just picking pieces, you know, and just putting it all together after that.
What do wrestlers look for with a referee? What do they see or they would like to get from the zebra in the ring when they're working with them?
I'm gonna bring up one guy in particular, Joey Conway. He good dude. Anytime that I'm able to work with him, he loves it, you know. And you know, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but he's always like, "Man, I want you as my guy, my referee." I think it's more so I allow him to be his character. I give him the space, the time that he needs, and anything it is that, you know, timing in the ring. A lot of it is timing. Everything's timing. And I think that's what it is. It's like, okay, I know what this guy is capable of doing. I know what to look for in the match. So certain pieces, certain plays in the match, I can actually, if I know what their moves are going to be, and it's like a back and forth kind of thing. You know, it just runs a little bit more smooth. And some referees just stand there, you know. Sometimes they might be slow on the count. They might not be observant of, you know, what's the next goal in the match or whatnot. So you know, Conway definitely helped me a lot, you know, as far as, you know, and he's one of the wrestlers that helped critique, you know, hey, let's try this, let's do this, and I'm able to, you know, to work with him easier.
Yeah, there's always certain nuances that I watch when it comes to wrestling. And one of the biggest things that I've always paid attention to is the referees, because there's always this, you know, you always have to have the placement. You always have to be aware of what's going on during the match. Sometimes, you know, especially with the newer guys, the indie guys and such, they get more hung up in watching the match than opposed to being in the match, being a part of the match, you know, and it becomes more of a distraction than anything. And then there's some who become way too involved in the match. They get a little bit too much as their referee becomes more of the gimmick itself. Where do you find a fair and honest balance between the two?
Well, you don't want to take away from the match at all. So you kind of want to be that fly on the wall in the match. Mm. And then when it's time, if you have any opportunity in the match to, if you have a spot that you have to, take care of, you don't want to take too much away, from the match. You just want to be able to have a nice, clean match, hit your spots, take care of your guys, make sure that you're observant. And I'm still new to this game. Every day is new. Every time I'm in the ring, I'm learning something different. I pick up different points here and there. So the one thing I do know is I don't want to take away from any of the guys in the ring. I don't want the attention shine on me. I know there's a couple of referees out there that they want the spotlight. I don't like it. I don't like the gimmicks. Like, I just want to be a fresh, clean cut referee. I see referees that have gimmicks on. What if there's a headband, armband, something that takes away from the attention is the wrestlers, not the referee.
Everybody wants to be Red Shoes from New Japan. You got, at least
Red Shoes.
That's what he's recommending.
Now I see black and white shoes now. It's like, I've seen that.
Yeah, it does become more of a distraction, and when it's over to I've always said that if the referee helps to sell the match, that's what really matters. Of putting it over, put the moves over, put the impact over, being able to be ring aware of placement and such. There's this a lot of times to where it becomes more of a three-way dance, as they would say. You're part of that of what's going on, the performance, and some referees get caught up in it. You said you've been doing it for a short while. How long has it been? To me, it feels like you've been doing it forever, but now it has been a short while.
It has been a short while. As I said earlier, I wrestled for a few years, but it was way back when New York wrestling was hot, like 2002, 2003.
Right.
So then I stepped away in 2006, and I didn't jump back in until House of Glory had their first show, jumping as a referee. And then I did Lawrence Dean shows. I was jumping in and out of that. And then I got opportunities with Joel Maximo with his Fighting Spirit Pro. And I just kept doing little shows here and there, but it comes far few in between. So I want to say 3-4 years in total, as a referee. But I know I could be shortening myself, but I would say 3-4 years.
No, listen, it cracks for anybody at any time because now there's opportunities. Some people get to the main event in a year and a half. It's hard work, dedication, being able to listen to the elders, getting under the learning tree, sharpening your tool and such. It could happen at any moment. There's sometimes it's individuals who aren't humble enough and they'll just stay stagnant and just stay in their position for quite a while because they're not opening up to the opportunities and being able to listen. And that's a keen thing for a guy of your stature and such, and you're a man who's getting into the referee game. What has been the biggest drawback of doing said gig of refereeing?
The drawback, man, it's I don't want to say it's a dog-eat-dog world, but it is. It's like, some companies have their guys, set guys. So if you're new in the game, it's more of like a networking kind of thing. As I would think, wrestling is a networking thing. So my drawback is just getting on shows. So I talk to so many people on it. It's like, hey, do you get on these shows? Like, what am I to do? And then the number one thing I get is just show up. I'm like, just show up. Like, it's hard to just show up, you know. So we're here. Did I disconnect?
No, I'm here. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll do the single out thing just to give you your time to shine.
Yeah, it's just weird. It just went off. I'm like, did he just disconnect?
Uh-huh.
No, it's pretty much just getting on shows and just trying to find my way to network with more people. You know, I've been doing it on the IGs and social media side. That has worked. But I'm looking to do a little bit more. So maybe this year I'll start just popping up at shows and just introducing myself to the promoters. Maybe the promoters aren't really looking at the social medias. So let's see what happens there. You know, that's the biggest drawback for me is just, you know, trying to network with people and trying to get on more shows, even though they have their set referees. It's good to freshen it up a bit, I feel. Yeah,
it's just like here, being in the podcasting world, networking world, and such like that. When you're a responsible person, you know, you have a family, you have other you have other obligations, other things that you have to do. You know, you want to invest all that time to doing what it is that you really do, that you love to do, and your passion. You know, but you gotta, you know, you can't put in the 12 hours that someone else can because they don't have that. You know, you got to find a way to fit your niche. And that's what, I've been trying to do. And I know you've been doing that as well. Especially I've been seeing you with the socials. That's where you crank it out at. But yeah, you know, that whole, terminology, show up. And yeah, it does become part of that. And you have to find a way to do that. You have, you know, you're not tagged as Good Dad Angel for nothing on Turnbuckle Tabloid. You're
a full-time dad. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. You know,
you got to put the
wrestling thing. I got a wife. I got 3 daughters. I got to, you know, I'm doing the runs. You know what I'm saying? And full-time job. You know, the works. You know, so if I could get in some wrestling shows, cool. You know, but I would like to know if I'm on the show. That's it's like, hey, are you available for this show? It's like going for anything. You set a date, you set something up. It's like, all right, cool. Are you available? Yeah, I'm good. I'll jot it in, and then we'll go from there. You know, hey, let me know if you need me for next show. You know, kind of thing. But the whole showing up thing is just kind of, I guess I'm out of the loop in that sense where, you know.
Yeah. Because
I got a lot on my plate to do that.
Yeah, and a lot of that also has to do with, you know, some promoters out there, you know, it could be a little stingy with the money as it could be, you know, and you know, they'll give you the hot dog handshake just like they'll do with the wrestlers. They'll pull that off as well. And, you know, and sometimes depending on where you're coming from, hey, I work the experience off, but they don't, you know, sometimes they don't see that. How has the family been able to see you transition into the referee style?
It's weird because one day they're very excited. Cool, Dad, I want to go to the show. And they've come to the show. They've gone. They had a great time, you know, and then there's other days, I don't want to go. I'm good. Like, okay, cool, you know. But again, I don't want it to be about me. It's like, hey, you guys want to come through. It's cool. I would love for you to be there. Now, on the wife side, it's like, now I got to kind of wiggle stuff in. It's like, all right, if I'm going to do a show here, okay, I got to start wiggling in some date nights, you know, to kind of balance it out where I'm not, you know, going to be pushing her to the side because you start getting pulled in different directions. And then when you start getting more gigs, it's like, okay, where's my time, you know? So those that have girlfriends, wives, spouses, whatever, they would know, you know, that it's a tough balance.
Yeah, as the ladies' man that I am, I just have to like let them know, hey, listen, I got a podcast tonight, sweetie. It's not about you tonight. Yeah, no, it's not really like that. No, it's kind of depressing. But and it's like I said, once again, it's just a juggling the family thing and such. And I can only imagine because not to take it as to say it's small scale, but can you imagine if and when it happens that you can break through, how it's going to be like this whole big thing now that, hey, daddy might be on the road for 20 days out of a month.
And that's something I've spoken to the family, because I am, looking to possibly, working a lot more. I feel like that there's something is brewing, like it's something is happening. I don't know. Right. What, where, when, but and I spoke to my wife and I spoke to the kids and they're down for it. It's like, cool, you're gonna be doing this. You might be on TV. You might be doing that. I said, listen, nothing's promised, nothing's guaranteed. But if it happens, this might be an opportunity for us, and that's how I have to look at it. And first and foremost, I want my wife to be on board with it because she's my ride or die, and as long as she's cool with it and by the grace of God, it'll happen,
The one thing that I'm noticing more, and it's slowly but surely, like it's been simmering up, is that there's been a lot of more Latino representation in refereeing. I've been seeing it more and more in the past couple of years that now, you're getting a lot of not only, American is bringing back the luchadors and such. They're bringing back, the Latin culture back into the fold. This is why, we're hitting certain networks now. You're seeing us expand to certain, streaming services so that it can get to those countries and stuff. So I'm seeing that a lot of personnel, especially in the referee area, the Latinos are on the come up. Are you ready to be like that kind of possible representation for that, especially when you have to deal with those that don't have that English barrier, or, they got, when you're in the ring helping out with a match, are you able to break through with that?
I've had some matches where I had to speak some Spanish or just get across. My Spanish is not 100% at all, but I can kind of get into it and dib and dab on it, but it's all learning. Once you start, it's like a repetition. Once you start practicing and working on it, it'll come more natural. So I've had like 3 or 4 matches. I guess the company felt, all right, he's the Spanish referee. He can, come across. He can get whatever needs to get across in the match. So, if that happens, well, at the point in time, I just got to practice. It's all about practice.
Yeah, I don't think there's a Duolingo for wrestling terminology, so you might have to work on that.
So it's just certain things. You start learning certain points. You start learning. Is a certain lingo you start speaking.
Yeah,
and it's not a full conversation. It's just, hey, one word could determine what's going on in the whole match. It's like, so. I don't have to do a full blown conversation in Spanish, to get across with some. Yeah, guys.
It's like you want if a wrestler needs a break, tíralo para afuera, throw him out, throw him outside.
Yeah.
Just the small thing. Next time,
and to go back to what you were saying about Spanish representation, I think we're just short. It's a short thing, A lot of us don't have the height on us, so it's like, all right, cool, we can make this transition. We could we kind of got brought up with the lucha style, so we're moving around in the ring a lot. So I think that could be that helps out a lot too.
Yeah, you're short, so you're not really blocking anything in the ring that's going on.
I'm telling you, like a fly in the room, you're good.
Everything is just right then and there. Has there been any moments that it was like kind of touch and go, kind of maybe got a little scary that you almost would have, or maybe would have had to throw the X up and then you wasn't sure whether or not what's the call to make or something that looks good?
It was a couple of times where someone got clotheslined or maybe just got nipped and then he made like a wince, like when a dog gets hit like really hard, it went. Yeah. So something like that was like, that was kind of weird. So I go over to him. He's like, just give me a second. And I'm like, all right, so I'm trying to get back, to roll out the ring. And I kept going to him, but I'm like, I don't know if he's like really fucked up, and this, and then once a few moments passed, he was good. He just got a quick thing, but I was like, that wince was like, oh shit, something really happened to him. Like, and those are things like I've spoken to Nick Shin about certain situations like that.
Shout out to Nick.
Been great. Yeah. Shout out to Nick, man. He's been great. Anytime that we've got a chance to work together, he definitely throws pointers to me, and he gave me one pointer to do. He's like, hey, take classes on like stuff like this, like knowing if somebody needs the help. You could kind of look at it in their eyes and say, hey, yeah, he's done for. Because as an athlete, some of these guys say, nah, I'm good, but they're really, messed up in the game. So that's something I have to look at getting some classes in as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
That was,
what are classes like? What, like first aid or something? Like you go and like
I don't know. He
get the flashlight.
I gotta hit him up. Yeah. But it's like just something like that. It's like just to see. I guess it's like maybe a concussion.
Yeah.
Class. Something to that level where you're able to see, because you're going to be right with them.
Yeah. Somebody's bell rung. They not. Yeah.
From the back. Yeah. If their bell is rung where they can't continue, referee is there to actually help out with that.
Well, seeing as though that you're also a like I mentioned a former independent wrestler as well, you've taken bumps. You've already known. How's it been as a referee to take the ref bump, as they would call it? This day.
I love it. I love it. Sometimes it's called. Sometimes like, hey, this is what's going on. All right, cool. And then there's times like it's not. I saw some flashes a couple of times. It's like, I'm counting a guy out or whatever, and then I just from behind get struck. I start seeing flashes. I'm like, oh wow, what the hell just happened? But yeah, I mean, taking the bumps is fun, man. That's the best part of it for me.
the old ref bump.
It brings me back to a match that I saw in NXT a few years back, where they were running the ropes, and then the referee got in between, did a drop down, did a leapfrog, and then he started pouncing around where he thought he was in the match for a second. I'm like, yeah, that kind of it feels that way sometimes when you take that bump. Okay, it's time, ready to go.
That must have been Drake. That must have been Drake that was doing that.
the dark skin.
Yeah, it must have been Drake.
Yeah.
It definitely would have been.
It's hilarious.
Speaking of which, have you been? Do you now look at wrestling differently now that you are an important part of a match? Do you start looking at matches and critiquing, or maybe just observing, saying, that was a good placement there, taking tips here or there?
So now I'm actually taking the initiative. Anytime that I'm at a show, I put myself forward now, because I've been speaking to insiders, and they told me, hey, put yourself out there where it's like you can help this promotion where they're not seeing. The more eyes on a product, the better. Give placement where you can actually observe a match. You can, start just putting yourself out there and say, hey, you could have done this, and this, and that. So I've been working with guys as far as timing on matches. If I know who's face, who's heel, how they could work the fan base, hey, you could have done this in a match. You were working the heel. You did great at this point, and then you let it go. You could have just held on to it. There was stuff like that where, and they're giving me that. They're giving me those opportunities to do that, which is great. It's cool. And the guys are taking it well. It's like, yeah, hey, did you see that? Did you see this? Hey, you want to check this out for me? And just to get that feedback, from the guys is cool. Like I said with Joey Conway, that he trusts me with certain things in his match, and they want me in the match, and to help in the back as well, match placement, timing. When they're done with the matches, hey, you could have done this, you know, or you could have done this. You know, it's fun to do that as well to help out in that end.
Hey, not only that, I've been noticing also that health wise, you've been knocking it out. You've been doing your running. You've been getting conditioned. You're getting in shape. You've been working it out.
It's been tough. Like once we're done here with the podcast, I'll be shooting over to the gym, knocking some reps out there. I mean, the gym thing has come because I was never a gym rat at all. It was more of like a health thing.
Mm.
You know, I'm gonna be 40 this year, and just, you know, certain things you got to just look out for. You know, stuff starts coming back. Blood work is like, hey, you got to check this out. You got to do this. And the first thing doctors say, hey, you got to lose the weight. Let's lose the weight first.
Yep.
And then we'll move forward from what happens. So I started doing that. I was like, you know what? Let me start taking this serious, you know. And I mean, you know, it's hard. We're not perfect. You know, us Spanish people love, you know, our type of food, you know.
Love our rich foods. Yep.
There's a lot of salt. There's a lot of, you know, stuff that's in there that we shouldn't be consuming. But hey, not perfect at all. I mean, we just gotta look after it. So, I mean, I've been going to the gym a lot more. I think the last 2.5 years, like steadily, like, all right, cool. This is something that I know I have to do, even though my body tells me not to do it. My mind is like, yo, you got to get in there. Stop playing around.
Yeah. No, I'm in shape, but the shape I'm in is round, so I'm good with that for now. I'm all right with that. I'm all right.
That's that sexiness. That's that sexiness.
I'm so pissed because I went to the doctor and I asked the doctor, "Can you put me on Ozempic just so I can lose a little weight? I just want to cut to 225, pero espérate, wait, right?" So the doctor looked and said, "Let me run some blood tests first." And they bring the test back and they're like, "No, all your levels is good. Everything's normal." I said, "You fucking kidding me? I'm the healthiest fat guy you know." I'm like, you gotta be shitting me.
Yeah, I mean, imagine, right? All your blood work came back good, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine you start turning that down. It's like, yo, let me start putting in the work,
right,
in the gym. Dude, you'll be like, yo, I'm the sexiest motherfucker in this place.
Listen,
like,
I'm cuddly. That's what
can't tell me shit.
I'm cuddly. That's what I'm going for.
Nah, but I feel good. Like losing the weight, starting this progress. I was like 240 something. Right now, last check, like a week and a half ago, I was 215.
Nice.
215, and yeah, I mean, I feel good. Like I noticed like my sleep patterns. Like my wife was like, "Hey, you don't snore as much, you know, unless like I'm like really dead tired. I'll have like a light snore." But before it was like, I guess because holding on too much weight, it was like snoring happening. The energy levels are really low. But yeah, I mean, definitely working out, and I gotta give a shout out to my boy Ray. He's the one that like put me onto like weights and freaking knowing what certain weight is gonna hit certain points in your body. And I was like, yo, cool, man. That now I know if I go to the gym by myself, I can go work out and pinpoint what I want to work out on.
Yeah, that plus, you know, sometimes as an independent wrestler, as independent referee, you might be called on to do 3 or 4 matches in a night, so you got to stay in condition.
Gotta be ready.
Yeah,
gotta be ready.
You got to be ready. It got to happen. Yeah. You know, you're on call tonight. Fuck. All right, let's get it.
Yeah. Nah, yeah. I mean, and I look forward to that. Like, I go into shows. All right, cool. I can do 4 or 5 matches if you need me. Give me the whole night if you want. I don't care, you know. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Where it's like, you got 2 matches, cool. All right, yeah. Don't worry about it. If you need me for something else, let me know. But yeah, so the conditioning definitely helps.
Yeah,
and running, dude. I hate running. I still hate running.
Yeah, you know, listen, I said the same shit, but I said, yo, I see your progress, and you're like all over the hood. I'm like, shit. I'm like, you're hitting it.
Sometimes it's just adrenaline. Sometimes, like, I don't know what like. I stopped for the winter, but I'm is it either next week or the following week? I'm jumping back on to running because I want to do a half marathon for Brooklyn.
Okay.
Coming up. I have something else, a surprise thing for my daughter that I'm doing as far as running is concerned. I'll start posting that when I gradually get into that, and this is more so for my oldest daughter, Brianna. So I want to do that for her. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I did that 50 miles in November, and it was just like, oh snap, I really did it. You know, at first I was like, I'm not doing this. Some people knock it out in a week and a half, 2 weeks. But me, I'm not a runner. I don't run that often. I run like
listen. I see the run club. They right when I'm walking to the bar, they're running past me.
Also, that's the group that I run with.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's how I figured. I said maybe I'll run into
Ridgewood Runners.
Yeah. I said maybe I'll bump into A. I'm going to Seneca. I'll probably see him coming.
I've seen a couple of guys, running that are a part of the show, or I've seen at events.
It's good to see that you are not sitting back and pulling yourself away from the game after you was in it for so long that you said, I got another opportunity for something, another way to get in. This is the way to do it. It's like you said, it's not an easy game. It's a tough game, man. It's always going to be politics.
Politics are always going to be there. Is whether or not you allow that to play in your role in it. Is like, I think that what the reason why I left was because of politics. And I was like, nah, I don't want to deal with it. But it's like, all right, whatever. Now it's like, I'm older, a little bit more wiser. It's like, whatever, it is what it is. It's always going to be there. If something happens as far as gigs come up, cool, I'm with it. But, I would never jump into the politic and it's like, for what? You want to use your refs? Cool. You don't need me for the show. Cool. You don't want to respond to me? Cool. That there's always going to be other avenues,
right,
to go down. I don't always have to go down Myrtle Avenue. I can go around it.
And that's the thing that a lot of people lose. They lose track on or lose focus on is that they believe there's just one way in. And it's like, no, there's branching roads that you can find ways to things. It's always in and out as such. We haven't spoke wrestling in a while besides, the refereeing stuff, but, big wrestling fan since.
I'm still a fan at heart. I still watch the shows. I've been keeping up with your shows, and I love the fact that Ariana and Mike are involved with the shows. It's cool. I mean, I was like, damn, I got to get on a show and start talking because it feels like, it might be a fourth piece in there,
No, listen, especially the day that we're living in now with wrestling, I've gotten so many people who are just, even knowing that I have the network and I have the podcast and such, that I'm the initial guy that they go to for wrestling, but now it's become more and more because of how wrestling has just had a renaissance. It's funny because a lot of these wrestlers, you've seen on the come up, you've seen on their way up, making their way up. You've probably been in the ring with a couple of them and such and on their way. What's your take right now on what's the progression of wrestling now that it's in its boom?
I love the fact that wrestling is in a boom right now. The only thing that sucks about it is the fans. The fans create that division where it's like this company's better, this one's company, he was better here, he was better used here. But dude, like if you look back at it as a fan, it's like, wow, like you have so many options. You don't have to be a fan of certain company or a certain wrestler, whatever. Fan, just enjoy it. Like everyone is different. I love the fact that guys have opportunities to work. So it's like, all right, WWE might not be the be all end all. I can make a good living, working, the AEWs, the MLWs, the TNAs kind of thing, because there's so much options and it's fun. I think every company's different, and they're finding their ways of, finding their spots. And I love it. I love the fact that it's there and it's available for people to watch and be a part of.
Has it been because you're a guy of the new generation era, of the attitude, the PG era. Now And of course, you being an HBK guy, Brett guy, and all that stuff. Any similarities from the old days to the new days in wrestling now?
Similarities? Well, not really, because now you get more wrestling. Like if you look back at the Attitude Era, like you didn't get wrestling, you got story. Like everything was like something chaotic happening, and it was just like Crash TV in a sense. It was like the Jerry Springer of TV, and people gravitated to it. But and then you just had your certain people that could actually bring out the wrestling. It's like, man, this is cool. Like that's why like Bret Hart was great, Shawn Michaels was great, and then they brought out certain things out of certain people. Now, like you Chad Gable's, like the dude is from you don't have to put no title on him, you know, but he can work with anyone.
Oh, don't tell M2 Inc. that, because he's still pissed at that. He's wait till you hear him bitch on Collar the Pinfall this week.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of people fall into that. It was like, oh, this guy needs to be world champion. This guy needs to be this. This guy needs to be that. Like not really. Like if your point in wrestling, I feel, is like to make sure you get somebody over, you make somebody look good, get some sort of emotion out of the crowd, whether they boo the shit out of you, or they cheer you and love you and cry. You know, if you get that emotion out of people, you're doing your job. You know, you don't want that X-Pac heat that he had way back when, where they didn't even want to see you anymore. It's like, man, this dude. But if you get some sort of emotion, you know, and you have a skill set, man, you can go anywhere, man. It's cool.
Who's like we mentioned, like I said, you were a big Shawn and Brett guy and all that. Who's in the modern day right now is on that level for you this day and age that you watch?
Like I mentioned him, Chad Gable. I love watching Chad Gable. He reminds me a lot of Kurt Angle in a sense, but and once he starts getting to like the higher tiers where he can start cutting promos, that he's in that main event picture. Oh, dude, he's going to be unstoppable. I feel like right now he knows how to work the heel. Once he turns babyface, it's over. Like he's going to top Cody and all of them. But also like, of course, AJ Styles, you know,
of course.
Yeah. You know, AJ Styles is always, I feel like there was a match that could have happened and never happened with Shawn and him. That would have been fucking amazing. There's just so many guys that I like watching. Even the big guys, Bronson Reed, I like to watch. Of course, CM Punk, that he's back, you know, just him in the ring is like, cool, you know, you can still do your thing, you know what I'm saying? Don't do no high flying moves. Stay to the ground.
Don't jump in the crowd.
Don't jump in the crowd. No more springboards. You know, you're good. Don't do those. But you can still get some stuff done.
If you had to,
I like some, and the women matches, dude. Like, they're killing it. Yo, like all over. Like Rhea Ripley. When I just won the IC title, Lyra
Valkyria,
yeah, Valkyria. Oh my God, she's amazing. A lot of these women that from the past can't touch these women right now. You know, NXT, you know, is pretty dope. They're picking it back up. It's cool, man. Like I love watching. I'm jumping back onto the AEW stuff. You know, I'm looking at it from a different perspective, and I think you touched on it. WWE is going to give you storyline. They're going to give you that. AEW is not going to give you storyline, but they'll give you the matches.
Yeah,
they'll give you matches. It might not make sense, but you know what? They'll give me a pretty good damn match. It's like, all right, cool. This was fun, and that's how I'm looking at it. You know, and yeah, like I can't pinpoint like one person, but there's so many guys I like to watch wrestle.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing that's happening now this day and age, because whenever somebody asks me who's your favorite wrestler of all time or who's your favorite wrestler now, I said it always rotates. It always rotates for me. I could tell you Bret Hart, who I'm wearing proud today, and then tomorrow I'll tell you Punk, or I'll say AJ. Like it always happens. And then like nowadays, there's so many wrestlers out there, like you said, even, you know, including the women out there that are just killing it. And it's such a beautiful, when I say again, a renaissance for for us as wrestling fans to see this happen. What is your one go-to match when somebody asks you, if I want to watch wrestling, what match should I watch first?
Ooh, it depends on like I will always say like a Shawn Michaels match. Like it'll be, and people probably hate it, but Shawn and Brett always had the chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And I will always go back to that Iron Man match they had.
Mm.
Like it was like they were testing the waters, cool, you know, and then it started slowly, gradually picking up. No falls. It's like, that's what I want in an Iron Man match. I don't want to fall, because if it was a regular match, the match would have been over by now. Yeah. The point of the Iron Man match is grit. You got to, you know, fight it through. So if I was to say a match, it'll be Brett versus Shawn Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12.
No, that's controversial, because, like you said, a lot of people
they don't like it.
A lot of people
like,
don't.
It was boring. It was slow. It was like, if you look back at it, it's psychology.
Yeah,
and that's what wrestling
and what is it?
Psychology.
Everybody just fast forward to the last 10 minutes. That's what they go for. But man, I'm in the same boat with you as well.
When that happened, and I was excited. They gave us the extra couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And Shawn won. I'm crying like a baby, just in excitement, because everybody in the household was a Bret Hart fan. And I'm like, no, this is not happening. So yeah, that match was fire. Like, I can always go back to watch that match, and I'll, you know, tell someone to watch that match.
Yeah, it's funny. I out of all the matches that I've seen and all this, I mean greats from, you know, the Bret and Stone Cold, Macho, Steamboat, WrestleMania 3, all those.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell people, I say, if you want to jump back into wrestling, I say Backlash 2023, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. Why? The energy, the whole practice of what was going on in that whole match. It's for the generation that's now. It's that kind of feel, but it's like, it also gives you that goosebumps feel of, I know this shouldn't be a big kind of match, but it did feel like a big match.
Yeah.
And the way, you know, knowing us as wrestling fans, as we know how Damian is, he took care of him, and I'm so proud of him, how he's on the come up as well. Damian's another guy that I'm fucking a big fan of.
Oh yeah, Damian is great. And going back to what you're saying, it like more of the modernized wrestling, including Bad Bunny in there. One, dude is the megastar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear Bad Bunny say, "Oh snap!" And the fact that Bad Bunny did what he did while he was wrestling, Damian took care of him. But to put in the work and make it look pretty damn good, and it's cool. It's like, oh shit, he can do that, just like Logan Paul. Like, my man puts in the work when it's time. You know what I'm saying? And he has a character. He knows what it is, and if you could bring out a celebrity to do what they're doing, it starts drawing in fans, starts drawing in eyes. It's like, wow, they can do this. They're doing this. And that's how you get new viewers. Like, yo, wow, this is cool. You know, it's not like when we had celebrities back then that they had a match, a Snooki match or something like that. It's like,
right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
You know, but now you get celebrities that want to be involved and are actually taking it serious and putting in that work. And Bad Bunny and Logan Paul probably like the top two guys that can do it.
Yeah,
and I think Stephen Amell did something too.
Like they, you know, long are the days of having a celebrity just stand there and do something goofy. Now we got
just clapping and, you know, rah-rahing in the crowd.
Yeah, now we got the official people who actually respect the business. Before I let you go, your dream match, living, dead, you would have loved to referee. You would love to referee.
Oh man, I think I mentioned it. You know, Shawn and AJ.
That's a go-to. Yep.
Like prime Shawn Michaels. Like that was like 96 to like 98 on his way out. That was like Shawn on fire. I mean, he came back and did his thing, but like dickhead Shawn Michaels was great.
Not brown tight. What was that? Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, hell no. Them brown boots. Nah, man, get that out of here.
The last minute change up.
Nah, but yeah, that match will always be like something like, man, that imagine if I was on that, you know, or just watching.
Yeah, man. Like cool. It's like always, man. I just thought about it. I said, shit, we've known each other for over 20 years, bro. Like it's been a long fucking ride, man. And
it's all love, man. Like you always show love. I think I know you since I was like 14.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's like, crazy. Rare that you could still have bonds and friendships with people like that, man. I always appreciate that. You and the family, much love as always. You know, I love you and I love you guys. Awesome. Let everybody know they could get you at and what's upcoming for you and for
cool. Yeah.
The refereeing scene.
Yeah. I have an IG page for referee Angel Cruz. It's at referee _Angel_ Cruz. It's only on Instagram. So yeah, hit me up there if anybody needs a referee or looking for just help at a show, whatever the case may be. You know, hit me up there. I have a couple of shows coming up. One is coming up in March with Wrestling Is Now. That's Joel Maximo's promotion, and it's March 8th in Brooklyn, New York. So, dude, it's like 10 minutes from here, from the crib.
Is it the same spot?
The Soccer Roof spot?
Yeah.
Soccer Roof. Hopefully they got some heat coming up. Yeah.
It was colder inside than it was outside.
Yeah, it was crazy. But you know what? It's fun, though.
It was. We had a good time.
I have that. And I have something where people can save the date as well. It's coming up way in the summertime, July 19th. Our boy Ray Sanchez is doing something.
Oh, he booked you. Yes, good.
Yes,
good. So, Respect the Craft.
Respect the Craft is coming out with their first ever show called Respect, July 19th. Save the date, people. That show is going to be fire. The lineup that he's been putting out there is great. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for any gig that's brought upon me. I got some stuff hopefully lined up. I'll talk to you about that once we get off, because I can't really give too much detail. But yeah, man, any gigs. I might have something coming up the 24th, which is next week.
That Friday,
Long Island. Yeah, it's a Friday, so I'm just trying to tweak some stuff and see if that's a possibility, if I can wiggle that in. But yeah, any gigs that come in, I'm grateful for it, and I look forward to these shows coming up.
Yeah, man. Listen, keep cranking it out, man. And like I always say, man,
I'm trying to get on that cruise. I'm going on that Jericho cruise. I forgot to mention.
Really?
Yeah. So I leave January 31st on the cruise, and it's till like February 4th. Oh. So I'm gonna take my referee gear with me just in case. That's the whole thing. Bring your gear with you everywhere.
No, what would be funny would be like, during that whole cruise, sometimes the fans themselves, they'll make their own matches. They'll call that shit, and you'll just be the roving referee, and you'll just that shit will be just hilarious.
I'm having a good time on that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
But once again, thank you, my brother, for checking in, man. Always love, man. Been wanting to line this up for a minute. This is gonna be a special edition of Under the Ring Apron with myself and referee Angel Cruz. But I know him as my chulo, so no one else can call him that. Right. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around. Much to talk about. See you guys in a sec.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.